What's up, YouTube? It's Raven, and today I thought we'd try something a little bit different. I'm going to kind of take you through my process here of how I hunt for my deals on COMC. Now, I might string a few of these videos together into one. We'll see how that goes, and if we don't find any deals, I can go through some of the stuff I bought. It doesn't always happen every day, but you got to keep plugging away. I kind of do this process with my tool here, 3 or 4 times a day, sometimes more if I'm really checking on a card. But yeah, let's get into it. Always, my first thing is I always pop over to my spreadsheet and I update my current prices. And I don't know if I've done the full process, and my other videos just kind of explained what the process was and showed the basics of it, but today you'll actually get to see how I do it and see how easy it is to just have the ability to just have these available to see in a more organized format than trying to click on every link and every card that I want to look at it out. And again, having this spreadsheet allows me to target more cards and find better deals a lot quicker than I would if I wasn't using this. And if you want to share some comments on your process or things that you're doing to help you find some deals, I know a lot of people will do hop on the site and search the recently added or the highest percentage off, and I did those. I do those a lot, and I still do that. But because I have my targets set and my target cards, I'm really trying to stick to them. I'm really trying to stick to my guns. Although, if you do look at my inventory, you do see probably about $30, $20 maybe worth of cards that are outside of my target. They're in my I don't know what I was thinking when I bought them kind of thing. So that's why it's really important that I stick to my target list for this year anyway. And if everything goes to plan and everything works out the way that I think it, that I've run through it in my head, then next year we'll have a little bit more freedom to be able to stock up on different sets and, really target some underpriced cards and things. Okay, so that is the first one done, and then since I'm looking at the canvas cards too, I will update the canvas. Now, I've been thinking a lot over the last couple of days how I can update my range of prices that I'm looking to buy these cards at. And a majority of it is a combination of what my set range is, which is a percentage of the high sale, and what I've kind of been buying the cards at. I kind of judge it from there, but I would love to be able to nail down a better calculation to figure that out and give me a more accurate price of what I'm going to buy. And again, today I'm also trying to do this all in one cut, so you're going to hear a lot of hums and ahas and stuff I probably would have done retakes on in my normal videos, but I just wanted to do a kind of a raw look at how I go through day to day on how I pick out some deals, and I'm able to get some deals on some of these cards. Okay, so automatically when I bring up the buy page, we've got these green ones highlighted that they fall between the range that my price that I'm looking for. But because this calculation still needs work, and I'm constantly trying to figure out a way to accurately give me a price that is going to allow me to make the best profit off that card, I'm still working on that, because you can see here when one particular sale is just an outlier. So this is telling me that anything between 162 and 189. Anything below that is a good price for me to buy. So this is at 60 cents. So this would stand out as a huge buy. But if you go over to the page, I've been getting them at 62 cents. So it's not a big gap there, but the gap is between what my range is and what they're actually selling for. So do I think that Jerry Judy's card is that much underpriced? No. Do I think that it could hit, conservatively get $3, $3.50 in the beginning of the year, provided Denver does some updates. Maybe they get a new quarterback. I've been hearing that they're thinking about either drafting or picking up a veteran to compete with Drew Lock. I believe Jerry Judy's a very good receiver. So even if it only goes up to the $1.89 or whatever, then I'm still making profit on that card. Now, but what I wanted to point out is this is a little bit flawed because of one big sale that was obscure. Like if you look down here, the biggest sale for Calvin Ridley is $3.93. So by looking at this, you would assume that Jerry Judy's a better receiver than Calvin Ridley, which is just not even close to the case. So I will be looking to update that, but this kind of highlights really standout prices that I think I should definitely look at, like the CD Lamb. I've already bought my 10 limit of them, but if you look back, I'm getting them at 133, so it's still 25 cents or whatever higher than what I was getting before. And with these dollar cards, 25 cents doesn't sound like a lot of money, but that's a good percentage of profit when you're selling a card for $2 or $2.50, So that 25 cents makes a big deal. And some people may look at, it's only 5 cents, it's only 10 cents difference. Well, that 10 cents with the card value is lost profit. It's still 10 more cents that I'm losing. None of these cards are ever going to make me rich. I'm not going to make $1 million. I'm not going to be have $10,000 in my COMC account. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some money, and then I'm going to take that, and then I'm going to reinvest it in new players that, some guys from the draft this year coming up. Some guys who are still, not getting any love and are underpriced. I'll find some targets for next year. Maybe I'll still have some of these cards for next year. But this is a process for me. It's not something I can't, I don't have $1,000 to throw in at once to be able to buy the cards I need to get kind of like a kickstart on it. I can't take advantage of any of the deals on eBay or any of the Beckett Marketplace deals that might be around because of my location and import fees and stuff. Now, again, I hope to fix that very soon, but it's not something that's fixed right now. Okay, so I promised some hunting for some deals here, and we're going to dive in. Okay, so it looks like most of the cards, unfortunately, except for these two guys, but again, there's a lot of these Dwayne Haskins, and I mean, this was a big kind of speculation here that he may end up starting in Pittsburgh because of Big Ben gets injured or something happens with his contract or something like that. But there's still that's by far the most, I think, of any of the cards that I've been buying. So it's super important that I be super stingy on this. So I know there's a lot there. So I'm gonna, if we click over to look at it, which is another feature of my spreadsheet, I can easily click onto the card and look. Looks like we got one guy, and this is what I also talked about in a couple of my comments that I left on some other YouTube channels. And this guy seems to have 117 of them. So unless he decides to up that price on those, it's going to be hard to. Those weren't there when I originally bought, but that's kind of why I've slowed down on them, and I'm going to wait until somebody drops below him. So if I come and I see that at like 50 cents, then maybe I will pick it up. But if I go back to my other tab here, you can see that I was getting them for 66 cents. So I'd even like to get them cheaper than that, but so I've put a kind of hold on that. Even though that's in my price range, I'm still, because of the quantity, I'm putting a hold on that. I want to see if somebody will maybe try and jump underneath him to just to get rid of his price. And it looks like he's also got 14, so he'll probably, you're to this one's a tough one, and unfortunately it wasn't like that when I bought in it. Somebody must have had a whole bunch of these that were not for sale and he made them for sale, or he scooped up a whole bunch of them and reselling them or something. I don't know. But this one will be a tough one, but we'll see how it goes. And if you look at the rest of the availability here, most of them, you got a couple, like 2 has got 62 available. See, Hebert's only got 7, and he's dropped a little bit there because people are starting to add. Now you can see a bunch of these totals now picking up as cards that people are sending in or starting to get added and things like that. So we'll have to monitor that. But again, my whole goal is to get these cards, swoop in and get killer deals on these cards, so that when I do resell them, I can still resell them for a profit and still be close to the bottom of the as the lowest sale. Because I mean, if you go back and we look at that Dwayne Haskins, like this guy here, that card's never gonna sell. Those are never gonna sell. You're not gonna get 149 people come in and buy Dwayne Haskins. He's had 257 transactions since the cards. So this is what, 2 years, almost 3 years now. So that, I mean, in my eyes, that's not going to happen. So what you got to do is you got to play what I call the COMC game, and you got to wait until you can get cards or below this guy. Like if I wanted to get out of these Dwayne Haskins cards, I'm not ready to yet, but if I wanted to, I could sell these put these under for the ones I had for 70 cents, and I'm gonna probably maybe lose a penny or two with the selling the 5 cent percentage, but I'm still able to get out and still able to get my money back because I'm being patient and waiting and not just jumping on this card because it's 73 cents. Do I think it's lower? Do I think this card is lower priced than it potentially could be? Absolutely. I think he's got a good shot to play in Pittsburgh this year. I really got a feeling that, with all the changes that's going on with Ben, or with Pittsburgh and Ben's salary and everything, he's if he's going to play, he's going to be at risk to get hurt. And either this guy or Mason Rudolph is going to come in unless they pick somebody else up, but I doubt it because they're in salary cap purgatory there. They got a lot of salary cap to make up. So anyway, I'm not really discussing on why I'm picking Dwayne Haskins, but just to illustrate a situation where you can get really bad stuck in a situation where you're sitting behind a guy with 117 of them at the lowest price on the site. So anyway, so we'll get back into the spreadsheet. So it doesn't look like there's a lot of guys that are really I know 59 cents, and I think I bought at 53 cents. But I think I can, maybe if I hold out a little bit longer, I can get those for lower. Some of these prices. So what I'm going to do is, and I'll take you over. I just recently downloaded all my purchases and organized them into a spreadsheet and stuff like that, just to take a look at what I've bought and in more of a format. Like I know I've bought 10 of these, but I have to come over to this tab, and it's a little bit, this is more for calculations rather than me to come by and really look at what I'm paying for a card. So what I'll do is I'll go, there don't seem to be a ton, and I'll do a bunch of these videos too, because I'm doing, as I said, I do this 3 or 4 times a day. I load the prices in, I come and I look, So if we hop over to my other spreadsheet, so this is a list of the cards I bought, the price I bought them for, and when I bought them. Okay, so I've been able to purchase my 10 AJ Dillons. That's my limit. I cap my limit at 10. so that I wouldn't overbuy one particular card, and 10 would give me enough to be able to play around with a few if I want to sell some at the beginning of the year and then hold a few maybe till the end of the year to the playoffs, whatever the case may be. But like to me, and you know what, I did have this hidden a little bit, but I'm going to unhide it there. This is kind of like what I was these are kind of, good prices for me, but more like a realistic good. Like, could it sell for more? Sure, if he's gonna, I think he'll be the starter. I don't think Aaron Jones is going to be back. I think they need to improve on a few other different areas, and they may take a chance, or it may take a have him. They drafted him last year. Anyway, so I think that card could go for $2 easily at the beginning of the year, and I'm getting them for 68 cents, 60. Not a huge profit, but I'll make $1.10 off each of those cards. So there's a quick $10. Same. I'm getting Anthony Miller again. Realistically, I'm expecting to maybe sell that for $1.25. I'm paying 30 cents for them. 30. Tony Gibson again. I think he can sell in that range, maybe even a little bit more, because I think he's a really good player. So I'm getting for 65 cents, 60 cents, 49 cents, 52 cents. And these prices here, I don't think are so unrealistic. I'm not setting myself up for maybe a few cards are a little higher than I think maybe they'll go for, but right now there's no football talk. It's all draft stuff. So I don't expect these prices to be high. Nobody's playing. So anyway, we'll get back into it. Yeah. So like again, you can see the trend like 30, 40, 60 cents. Some of them you're going to see are a little, I'll do a whole bunch of 60 cents and then I'll have $1.50. Well, if you look at the timeline, the closer I bought it to the new year, the more expensive it was. So as we are getting further out from the year, these cards are definitely getting cheaper, and you can see from some of the ones I have bought at the beginning of January. So look, the Calvin Ridley's again, $1.15, $1.45. I think he's an amazing receiver. And, Justin Jefferson is going for $5. So why is there any, I don't see why he can't go for $5 at some point. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he goes for $4, maybe he goes for $3. But at $1, I'm still making a good chunk of profit, even if he only goes for $3. And I think it will increase, like, if we're going by last year, there's going to be more people into cards this year. The hype's media attention, I'm seeing mainstream articles talking about mainstream media talking about cards all over the place. A lot of people are building up. I'm seeing 60, 70,000, 80,000 subscribers on YouTube, and those are even just the guys that I'm interested in watching. Those are not even the guys that are doing stuff that I'm not even interested in. So it's building up, and these Donruss, I think I'm betting on that they're going to be pretty popular with the the people just want to get in at the beginning of the season. They want to see they want to, again, instead of playing fantasy, they want to buy some cards and bet on the player that that's the way you kind of look at it, right? Instead of putting a $5 entry in a fee, I'm spending whatever $6, $7 here, rooting on Calvin Ridley to have a good year, kind of deal. Anyway, so we'll go through a little bit more here, like Cam Akers, 80 cents. Look at this one, 18 cents. Like, this one tips the scale a little bit at the other end. Weller 65, but you can see I bought it in the middle of January. And as you can see, the date works down. They get lower and lower. This I don't know if the guy meant to list it for $1.80 and it put it for 18 cents, but because I'm checking that 3-4 times a day, I'm able to snag cards like that. Like these are a little bit on the higher range, obviously these 80 cents, but I think he's going to be a prominent running back for the Rams next year with a new quarterback. They made the playoffs with Goff. I think they have a chance to make the playoffs with Stafford. He's in LA. It's a big market, so I don't see why that card shouldn't go for that $2 to $2.50 range at the beginning of the season. maybe some of these guys here I'll need to sit on until they have the actual good year, you know. But I'm going heavy on the wide receivers, as you'll see in my wide receiver target video. It's because the draft class of 2020 had so many good receivers. It was so deep. You got lots and lots of talent there, and I think the reason that some of these guys are so cheap is because there was so much talent there. You got a few guys at the top that are kind of leading the way for the 2020 rookies, rookie card price wise anyway, and then a whole bunch of guys that are underneath that I think are going to be, probably a lot of ones, maybe some good twos for teams. And I'm not expecting a dollar card to turn into a $50 card, but if a dollar card turns into a $3 card, that's a win for me. And as I'm buying a bulk, it's 10 times everything. So if that 80-cent card becomes a 250, that's $25 for me, and I spent what $15, a $10 profit. It's not, again, I'm not going to become the wealthiest man in the world by that, but profit is profit. Okay, so the CD Lambs here, I got, again, this one was a later buy there because it was at such a high price at this point that I think I just kind of bought one just to finish my 10. And because I got such a good deal on the rest of them that I could squeeze out a little bit there just to get my 10 in before they go into the $2 range again, which is where they were at. But if you go back here, you can now see they're down back to, so I lost 30 cents on that card. So that was a little bit of a gamble that I didn't make. But I think CD Lamb's an amazing receiver. He's in Dallas, which is a huge market. So no problem. I think this hit, and I mean, as I said, Justin Jefferson's cards are right now in the off season going for $5 or $6. So I don't see why CD Lambs couldn't hit for $5 or $6 at the peak of the hype. And that's some good. Same thing with Chase Claypool. I don't know what's going on with Big Ben here, so that might hurt me a little bit that he doesn't have a lot of people. But it looks like Juju's going to be gone, and him and Deontay are going to be the big play guys in Pittsburgh there. So again, I think that's a realistic amount to ask for that, to expect to be able to sell that card for. Who knows? Maybe I'll go in and by the time I go to sell these in September, there'll be 3,000 of them, and there'll be 65 cents, and I'll lose a whole bunch of money. You don't know. It's. I'm gambling a little bit, obviously, and I'm gambling by choosing a lesser, quality set, I guess. But we'll see how it works out. Again, I'm not huge on Christian Kirk, but I think Larry Fitzgerald is now getting pushed down on the depth chart and probably will retire if he hasn't already announced that he retired. I haven't seen it, but so that means Kirk will be coming. I think he's going to fill into that number 2 spot instead of Andy Isabella there. Now I'm not been super bullish on him, but I mean, if I'm going to get his card for 30 cents, even if it sells for $1, that triples my money, even taking into account the 5% fee from COMC. I think, so as long as I can sell that for $1, and if with Kyler Murray as the quarterback and DeAndre Hopkins there, they'll be slinging the ball around, and they hopefully will be playing good, and we can see a little bit of return on those. I think right now he's in the 50 cent range, if I'm not mistaken. 49 cents. So I'll wait until that comes down until I can find one in the 30 cent. Even this, that would be, I doubt it will get that low, but I think, that would be a good steal, and I can definitely pick up a few more there. Okay, so we got the CEH. So these ones have been a little bit all over the map there. right now, I think he's the highest priced running back from the 2020 class right now. And I mean, he's on KC, so he's on a Super Bowl contending team with an MVP candidate every year kind of deal. So these are going to be but I was able my first three these are the first three that I bought of him. And I just happened to I wasn't buying him because he was in the 270, 280 range, and that was just a little bit too much, I felt, for me. I wasn't going to be able to why buy that, and there's not going to be a lot of meat left on the bone when I go try and sell it. So I waited, and then all of a sudden I just happened to click on it, and I saw there was one for 60 cents, and then there was two for 60 and one for 75, and then the next one in line was like, 250 or something like that. So I went and I just grabbed them right away. And then once I grabbed those, I said, hey, okay, well, there's a possibility some people might let go of them cheaper, So I've been able to pick these up, just popping in and every once in a while. Now they're not, I don't expect them to fall too much in this range there, but getting them at $1 is a pretty good deal. This one's a little bit high, and these ones I got, these are the actual canvas versions. Now most canvas versions of the base card are going for double. Well, this at this price, this was actually selling cheaper than the current price of the base version, so I just bought. Whether it's a good bad, I think that the canvas, they're a shorter print, they're shorter. Like if we look over here, yeah, there's only 15 available. Maybe there'll be more, maybe more will be added on. I'm not sure, but I think I can definitely make some money off that, selling those at the beginning of the year. And I actually even got them listed, and I think I'll change that to, if I can think those will go for 5, maybe we'll put them for 8 conservatively and think that those can go for 8. We'll see. Maybe they won't. Maybe they will. I don't know. As long as I can get $2 for them, I'm making money, or I'm not losing money. Okay. Same thing with the Cooper. I'm confused with this. I think he's a really good player, but he seems to get no love. No love. So I think I can. These will probably, maybe with Matthew Stafford, he'll get score some good touchdowns, but he's also got a good receiver on the other side too. So that doesn't help. So I have, and to be honest with you, tell the truth, I bought these during, as you can see, during the playoffs there, and I didn't sell them after they got eliminated, and then I had them on sale even just to get out of them. I think I had them on as 86 cents or something like that on sale, just to get rid of them, and I couldn't even get rid of them. So I decided, I'll hold on to the 3 that I got, and I'll just keep them in my target list and see if maybe I can sell them or if some of them come up where they're like 30, 40 cents, I can, buy a couple more and have some options, because I still think he's a good wide receiver, and with Stafford there, he may have a better year, and but he just doesn't seem to get much love here. And we move into DeAndre Swift here. You can see, there's a couple of outliers here at the 88 cents, which was bought a little bit early on my part, but 50 cents, 49 cents, and I think I could sell this card for $250. And again, look, like I got it 49 cents. I'm paying 49 cents for the base. I got the canvas for 49 cents. So again, I adjusted the price for the whole thing. I think that can go for I could sell that for $450 at the beginning of the year, no problem. We'll see though, but that's my assumption. Again, Denzel Mims, another guy I like, just great metrics. He's on a shitty team. Apologize for my French, and sorry to Gary V, I guess, because he's a Jets fan, but he's on a horrible team. So if they maybe get a quarterback this year, then maybe he can do something, but I don't know. We'll see. But I mean, at the prices, I bought a couple of cards again. I don't know what. I think I bought again. That was where I just wanted to get one. They're now in the 75-cent range, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Or they were. Where are we here? Denzel Mims. I had them. Where did I go with them? 74 cents. So I think I just got that 62 one because it popped up, and I needed one more to. And actually, I think I may even need one more still. Did I need one more? Oh, I need two more actually. Okay. So I'm still looking for two more, but I think I that's why this one was my first buy, and then they started to drop, and then so I'm getting them around 60 cents or so. But actually, I'm gonna change that down to $2 because I think that's a better, more conservative. I'm trying not to overvalue them, but I'd like to get an idea of what I'm going to sell them for. This one again, just super cheap price. I bought a couple because he's a Raven, and then I realized, well, what do I want? I don't need four of them, and one Devin Duvernay's good, rookie's good for my PC, and then I can I don't need it. I don't need to have 4 or 5 of them. But then I saw them, as you can see down here. One of them I bought. Actually, the one I bought probably was 85 cents. I think I bought my first one for, and these was part of the first 4 group, and then I said, okay, well, I don't need these 3, but then I saw they were 17, 20, 20, 20, oops, 23, 20, you can see here. So, like, well, for another, couple of bucks I can pick. I think he's going to, I have faith in him that he's going to be a good player. He needs a little bit, needed a couple years to develop, get involved. He got more involved last year. He's going to be now that Willie Snead's going to be with another team, I think he'll get a shot at the slot, and I think he can excel at it very well. And also too, so that I was able to pick up a couple, like 16 cents. I'm picking his canvas up cheaper than some of his base cards. So I can't, that seems like a deal, too much of a deal to me. And when I originally did the pricing, I didn't have the set name included, so that's why you're seeing some of them showing up for the canvas ones the same price as the base. Okay, and again, DJ Moore, he's been pretty steady at 70 cents. But I think he's so underrated compared to, and it's because of his team. It's solely because of his team. Now maybe CMC comes back and they have a good year, and maybe they get a new quarterback. Maybe they don't. Maybe they stick with Teddy. But I think I just bought those because I think that's way underpriced for the value that you get for him. Like if you look on the scale of, say DK's card from the last couple of years is at the top, he's at the very bottom. But if you look at the dynasty rankings, he's in the top 15 wide receivers in the dynasty rankings. I look at maybe the top 20 in some, but he's definitely within that, for sure, in that top 20. So why is his, and I can answer that question, why his card is so low, is because he's in Carolina. So Carolina needs to do something to give him a help out, right? So, and I think too, now that I kind of talk myself, I'm gonna go back down with a little bit more of a $2, just because that is a good price, but people gotta want to buy him too. So I think leaving that at putting that at expected that I can try and sell it for $2 at the beginning of the year, it doesn't make a huge profit on it. So which is why I've been holding off, because there's been this card's been 70 cents since for like 2 months and hasn't moved. We had one drop down to 63 cents and I snapped it right up. So anyway, so the Dwayne Haskins again, I went through in my quarterback video, which hopefully you watched. If not, you should. It's interesting, I guess. Like if I'm getting them, 50 cents, and now these are more the current prices there, matching the current prices, but I got quite a 57, 63 cents, 73, and I think if he starts, I can probably, if Big Ben's out, I can maybe get by. You know what? I'll drop it down there and we'll go to 250. That would be more of a conserve. That's less than what a starting quarterback like Drew Lock and Danny Dimes are in the $4 range in there. I don't think they're particularly fantastic quarterbacks, but they're starters. So If Dwayne Haskins, I think I could sell that. I'm confident I could sell that for 250. Problem is, as we saw in the video, there's 172 of them in front. Without that guy, that's my theory, is I can sell that to 250. With 117 or whatever the heck that guy had, these ones are going to be. So I'm going to have to sit and do some work on this and decide whether I want to keep buying him or not. As I said, when I first looked at him, there wasn't 117 of them at the bottom like that. So that's a big obstacle, and we'll just see how it goes, I guess. So again, the Gabe Davis. Right now, these seem to be going like for a lot cheaper. So I may have been a little bit hoodwinked on this guy, because I think right now he's going for 25 cents, something like that. Maybe there's only one that's 25 cents, and that's a little bit better. 25, 30 cents, 50 cents, yeah. 66, 65, they're staggering a little bit. So, those aren't looking as good at prices as they were when I originally was buying him. But again, there's only a couple of, I wanted to go back to this one. There's only a couple of them that are above this price. The rest of them still. But the biggest steal, I think, here's too, is the canvas for 20 and 25 cents. Like that. Again, if you look, that $1.35 is one that I paid for a little early when the prices hadn't dropped yet, and then we're still, they were still, if you looked at the prices, probably anything, after, say, the 25th of January, you're going to see a dramatic drop in prices. Maybe a little bit into February there, but a couple of these I really got, I really got nailed on because I bought them a little bit early. But live and learn. I've only got one Henry Ruggs there. It's 40 cents. They're now in the 70 cents range, so I'm not going to buy another one unless they're in the 40-30 cent range again. And if it doesn't hit it, it doesn't hit it. I'm not super jump on the top of the table for Henry Ruggs there. I think he's got some good metrics, and I'm just not sure of his team. I'm not sure what's going on, and I don't know. I just think his card needs to be lower than the 74 cents it's selling for now for me to buy anymore. And here's my guy, obviously, J.K. Dobbins there. So again, I think I'm getting pretty deep. A couple of them I got gouged on a little bit just because I wanted them. They weren't coming down in price, and I got a little antsy, and it happens. I'm not seeing good deals, but you can see here that I've got 60 cents, 60 cents, 70 cents. So I've been able to get a few deals, and then again, the canvas, $1 for each canvas. I should have no problem selling those for $5, I think, at the beginning of the year, or at some point in the year when they're Baltimore's moving and Dobbins is now the full-time starter, unquestioned starter. We'll see though. We'll see if this is my predictions. This is what I'd like to sell it for. Yeah. So we'll see how close that is, and so as for Jalen Hurts, he is one of my quarterback targets that I'm on, and he's at the upper top price range, and I've spent a good chunk of my budget on him, but as you can see, I'm hoping that there's quite a bit of nice return, and he's going to be a good chunk of my return back to me. So, and I'm trying to get him under $10, and then I was able to snag these two canvas, one for 11, one for 10. They're selling for 20 now. Maybe I'm crossing my fingers. I'm kind of reaching a little bit with this, but with the quarterbacks, they're head and shoulders above everybody else, and if he turns out the way that I think he's going to turn out, or I'm hoping that he's going to turn out, then that 30 and $60 should be pretty spot on there. If Lamar Jackson or Baker Mayfield was at that point, that $20, $25, $30 range, I think he can get there too. Now here's his partner in crime, and one of the reasons, and I'll go over this when I do my wide receivers video, is because they have the same name. I thought that was it just stood out in my head, the Jalens. So I started, I bought the 10 Jalen Ragers. He's a first round draft pick. He was probably like third or fourth on the depth chart last year, maybe. And they dumped a whole bunch of receivers, so that moved him right up to the draft board. And I think for the prices I'm getting at, like 20 cents, I'm at one for 45 is the max. I think with him and Jalen Hurts playing well together, I think that I can easily sell that for $2 and, almost make like 10 times my profit on some of them. We'll see if I'm right, and then the same thing with the canvas. The canvas were just, I think, such a good deal that I just bought them up because he was a player that I was looking at, and I thought with the Jalen's connection, So we'll quickly stroll through here. I know some of these prices again are just me trying to take a guess at what this I could possibly resell this for. So we'll look at the other guy. Jonathan Taylor. He's been a higher price guy again. I've been able to snag a couple of deals that are below what he's selling for now, but. I got to jump on him because I think he's going to be on a contending team with a new quarterback, and I think they have a chance to, they were a good team before, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So we'll just skim through again. Laviska Shenault, 50 cents here, and I think $2.50 is good for him. Same with the canvas. I was getting 70 cents when I'm buying his base for 50 is a good deal for me. Marquise is one of my guys, and I may end up keeping these two just for me. I don't like his prices. I think his prices are way too high right now, and I'm not sure why they're too high because I don't think he's even reached his potential yet. And I think once he gets somebody on the other side to take a little bit of focus off him, then I think he's gonna do better. But anyway, I might even, as I said, I might end up keeping those, ended up putting those in my PC because I don't have ones for my PC. I only have these two. But anyway, they're in my investment pile for now. And see, he was one of my target guys. I think he's priced higher than I'd like to pay for him right now. So Mason Rudolph again in my quarterback video. This is if they become the starter. Mason becomes a starter for 40-50 cents. Maybe even if I'll drop that, I think I'll drop that down. I did Haskins there. I'll drop that down to $2. It's not 22. Okay, same. 40-50 cents for Michael Gallup there. He's on the Cowboys. I think Amari Cooper is, is not going to be the star that receiving core anymore. I think it's going to be CD Lamb and Gallup. Anyway, we'll see if I'm right on that, but I think that was just super cheap for a pretty decent receiver. He's fairly good ranked on the Dynasty rankings within the top, 64, I believe, which are the, would be 2 wide receivers for each team, starting wide receivers. Again, we got Pittman there to go along. I think he's going to be on with the new team and the new quarterback and stuff, and I'm, so 40 cents, 65 cents, and then I was able to get a canvas for 74. And just quickly through it, again, 40 cents, 20 cents, some of these guys may not pan out, but the price I'm getting them at, I just feel that I should be able to sell them even for just to make a little bit of money. And if they don't turn out, and still be able to get rid of them and get my money back. So anyway, so those are a look at some of the deals that I'm getting. I'll try and do a couple of videos where I hop on and you actually see me in action getting some deals there. It just happens that none came up today, but they're always there. And as I said, I'm checking 3 or 4 times a day. So thanks everyone for joining me, and hopefully you'll join me next time on Raven Invest, and everyone stay safe.